Rightio, so guys, we've just done the prac on soil liquefaction. It's liquefaction, not liquefaction, by the way. I don't think liquefaction is a word. Could be wrong. Soil liquefaction, which is something that some soils do when earthquake waves pass through it. So I'm just basically redoing the prac with your leftovers here so we can see some of the key features. This sand here is like really good beach, castle building sand. It's moist, it's not soaking wet, it's moist, and it sticks together really well. You guys, when you tipped out the trays you were using, a lot of that hung together like bricks. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to stand a building in there. It seems to work better when we've got the mass below halfway, otherwise it gets a bit top heavy and falls over. We're going to dig our building in a little bit so it's got foundation, so it's down within the soil. Now, what we're looking at here is when you did your prac, the top of that soil was meant to be completely dry, but anyway, you'll get the same effect here. Now what we're going to do is pass earthquake waves through it. Some of you did that using trolleys or skateboard type things back and forth. Some of you used the hammer. Let's see if we can see the features that happen. So we've got earthquake waves passing through. Earthquake waves are pretty rhythmic. Now, okay, that's toppling over, but you might just say, well, that's me banging on the thing. Look at the water coming up. It's coming out, and look at the bubbles coming up. In reality, in a real situation, what happens up is everywhere you can see airs come up, that causes what's called a sand boil. You will get water coming up to the surface, particularly in places where you've had reclaimed land. Like it used to be a marsh or a river, and they just fill it in. The water underneath this, the gravel underneath, or the sand, whatever it is wet, and when the shock waves travel through it, it basically causes the sediments to settle in tighter against each other. The water's got nowhere to go but up, and it blasts its way through. Every little bubble you see there would be what's called a sand boil. And in a real situation, you would see that as just a pile of sand coming up and with water mixed amongst it. The building hasn't fallen apart, the building has just fallen over because its foundations have failed. So that's the main features I wanted you to see from the soil liquefaction. Cool.